The Windsors are one of two wealthiest families in Britain. These assets include readily identifiable symbols such as Buckingham Palace and the royal jewels. Also included are enormous areas of property, including office buildings and a famous cricket stadium in London, as well as farms on the outskirts of Britain. Not all of this, however, belongs to the Windsors. So how has the royal family accumulated its net worth of $88 billion? In this video, we'll discuss 6 different ways the royal family brings in revenue. Be sure to stay tuned till the end because our last point may surprise you. And make sure to subscribe and like the video so that you can learn how to achieve financial freedom. Number 6. The Privy Purse. The Privy Purse is the private income of the British sovereign, mostly from the Duchy of Lancaster. This resulted in a net income of $23.19 million for the year ending 31st of March 2018. The Duchy of Lancaster is as slippery as the fish that dart upstream in one of its rural estates. It might be a private estate one minute and a public entity the next, like a shape-shifting beast. At moments, it resembles a family trust, and at other times, a commercial enterprise. MPs from the United Kingdom who attempted to investigate its financial concerns were baffled by its opaque features, which guarantee AAA security. It is old, esoteric, and since it cannot be tracked down, frequently nameless, as a result, it evades parliamentary examination, according to some. Since 1399, roughly 46,000 acres of the duchy have been held in trust for the sovereign. Additionally, it has 190 miles of shoreline. In 2018, the estimated worth of the duchy was roughly $533 million. The land is subdivided into the Lancashire Survey, Yorkshire Survey, Crewe Survey, Needlewood Estate and South Survey. The sovereign has no claim to the duchy's capital, but the duchy's net profits go to the sovereign as heir to the Duchy of Lancaster. Although the revenue is private, the majority of it is used to cover the official costs of other members of the British royal family. Only the king gets money from Parliament, for which he is not responsible for reimbursement. Number 5. The Duchy of Lancaster. The Duchy of Lancaster is an old inheritance that originated in 1265, 750 years ago, when Henry III gave his son Edmund Crouchbank lands lost by Simon de Montfort, Earl of Leicester. Later in the same year, property acquired from Robert Ferrers, Earl of Derby, was added to this estate. Not until 1267, when Edmund received the county honour and castle of Lancaster, did it become known as the Lancaster Inheritance. It is valued at $942.05 million. This wealth is derived from the Duchy of Lancaster, a portfolio of land and other assets owned by the royal family for centuries. It consists of residential, commercial and agricultural properties with net assets of $715 million and 18,433 hectares of land. According to the royal family's website, this amount is intended to offset expenditures not covered by the sovereign grant, namely expenses incurred by other members of the royal family. It consists of urban developments, historic buildings, and some commercial properties throughout England and Wales, especially Cheshire, Staffordshire, Derbyshire, Lincolnshire, Yorkshire, Lancashire, and the Savoy Estate in London. Number 4. The Duchy of Cornwall. The Duchy of Cornwall, a massive estate valued at $1.2 billion, is another significant source of income for the royal family. The estate, which was formed in 1337 and consists of territory across the United Kingdom, would pass from Charles to his oldest son, William, upon the latter's ascension to the throne. The oldest son of the reigning British monarch receives the duchy and the title of Duke of Cornwall upon birth or when his father ascends to the throne. However, he is prohibited from selling assets for personal gain and has restricted privileges and income as a child. The Duchy Council, also known as the Prince's Council, meets twice a year and is presided over by the Duke. The The Prince's Council is a non-executive council that provides the Duke with recommendations about the administration of the Duchy. Additionally, the Duchy exercises some legal rights and privileges in Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly, including those that belong to the Crown elsewhere in England. The Duke selects a number of county authorities and serves as the port authority for the Isles of Scilly primary port. The government considers the Duchy to be a royal entity, exempting it from corporate tax. Number 3. The Sovereign Grant. The Sovereign Grant, which comes from the Treasury and is paid by taxpayers, is an annual source of income for the royal family. The deal stipulates that royals would get a stipend in exchange for turning up to the government any revenues from the Crown estate, the family's portfolio of assets. Regent Street in London and Ascot Racetrack in Berkshire are among its properties. These structures are not each monarch's private property, they just belong to them through their reign. This implies that King Charles cannot sell or retain the earnings from the Crown estate. The reigning monarch receives a sum equal to 25% of the Crown estate's annual income every year. Number 2. The Crown Estate. The Crown Estate is a collection of lands and properties in the United Kingdom owned by the monarch as a corporate sole, making it the sovereign's public estate that is neither government property nor part of the monarch's private estate. The sovereign does not participate in the management or administration of the estate and exercises only a limited degree of authority over its activities. The estate's enormous portfolio is instead managed by a semi-independent incorporated public entity led by the Crown Estate Commissioners, who wield the powers of ownership, although not being owners in their own right. The King has placed the earnings from these hereditary holdings at the disposal of His Majesty's government in exchange for freedom from the need to pay the civil government. Therefore, these earnings go straight to His Majesty's treasury for the benefit of the British people. The Crown Estate is constitutionally obligated to submit an annual report to the monarch, a copy which is sent to the House of Commons. It is one of the largest property managers in the United Kingdom. The estate also holds 7,920 kilometres squared of agricultural land and woodland and more than half of the United Kingdom's shoreline, and retains many other traditional assets and privileges, such as Ascot Racecourse and Windsor Great Park. While Windsor Home Park is also a component of the Crown Estate, inhabited royal palaces such as Windsor Castle are administered by the royal household and are not part of the Crown Estate. The Crown Estate manages and leases out naturally occurring gold and silver in the United Kingdom, which are collectively known as Mines Royal. Number 1. The Royal Brand. The royal family's brand generates $2.03 billion in annual economic activity for Britain by attracting global tourists, boosting the value of merchandise bearing a royal warrant or coat of arms, and boosting the popularity of television shows about the monarchy, according to a 2017 study. Brands are valuable corporate, or in this instance national, assets that may enhance a company's reputation and substantially set it apart from competitors. And although royal court officials and family members may not identify it as such, seeing the British monarchy through the prism of branding may provide valuable insight into why it has persisted and why it continues to be significant and essential to so many people. The Crown, the Commonwealth realms, including Australia and Canada among others, the royal family and its individual members each have their own brand. Possibly, Queen Elizabeth had combined all of these threads into a worldwide package that resembles a corporate brand in a lot of ways. The crown, the royal cipher, and the royal coat of arms are potent brand symbols comparable to trademarks. By issuing royal warrants of appointment, the monarchy even lends its brand clout to promote other firm brands. Approximately 800 companies, including fishmongers and Heinz Ketchup, have the permission to brand their goods with the royal arms and appointed to Her Majesty the Queen, which indicates a product is appropriate for a monarch. Other organisations, such as the Royal Opera House in London, are allowed to use the royal prefix. Organisations must apply to the Cabinet Office in England and Northern Ireland or the government in Wales and Scotland for permission to use royal in their names. In addition, Queen Elizabeth has likely been one of the world's most recognisable female symbols for the last 7 decades. Her picture has been featured on coins, banknotes, stamps and portraits throughout the globe. Importantly, the Queen's unique brand values also played a role in sustaining this worldwide attention. Queen Elizabeth II grasped the marketing principle, the customer is king. She seemed to understand that, as the head of a constitutional monarchy, it was more suitable to talk of a people with a queen than a queen with a people. All of these factors have allowed the British monarchy, which dates back more than a millennium, to become a prime example of a corporate historical brand. This brand's defining traits have survived, which in turn have made it so the royal family could survive.